Live from Pahrump, Nevada, the Valley of the Dirt People, it's Tech Talk Taco Tuesday with your hosts, Jimmy Lewis and Logan Tyler.
All right. Live from Pahrump, Nevada, it is episode 155 of Tech Talk Taco Tuesday.
I'm not in Nevada.
You're not in Nevada.
I got kicked out or something like that, maybe. So welcome everybody to Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. This is show number 155. Would it be better if my phone was vertical, or do you want to crop that thing?
Try horizontal for me really quick.
Who the hell put out the memo on the shirts, bro? Matt Mattoon, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Thanks for putting this all together. I'm going to get the document pulled up here.
Thanks for having me. I'm always here to press the two buttons.
That's right.
I'm gonna try cropping this a little bit too, so it's not so much black space here.
Right. Tech Talk Taco Tuesday is the show where we answer your motorcycle and motorcycle product related questions. We do this as a service to you. You're getting it for free on the internet, so take it for what it's worth. But that being said, this show wouldn't be possible without the generous help from some of our sponsors, which include Yamaha, Taco Moto, sponsors of the Rooster Endo segment. And believe it or not, if you send in the next, I think, 2 submissions that come in, we'll get on tonight's Rooster Endo segment. So, you know what we want there? We want to make your make and model of the bike you have. Tell us a little bit about your bike, why you modified it, and we will probably say nice things, really nice complimentary things about your pride and joy motorcycle. Of course, if there's something that's awkward or maybe the photo's bad, we might point it out, but in a really nice way, like we always do. Scott Sports, makers of fine goggles, whether you're skiing, which you're not doing now because it's 100 million degrees, or snowboarding, or riding dirt bikes. Scott makes some really awesome goggles. Climb, the best motorcycle gear for off-road riding. DDC, Sprockets, Trail Tech. What do you think about Trail Tech? Voyager, GPS units, and kickstands. Fasst Company, Flex handlebars. You know what? If you missed out, there was a code Jimmy15 to save all the way up until Labor Day, which was yesterday. And I don't know if that code still works, but I bet you if you put it in there, they might still honor it. But I don't know. The prices might go up, so you might want to do that fast. Seat Concepts, bringing you the Seat Concepts hotline, hot seat hotline. If you need to call in and talk to me, and there is someone who needs to call in and talk to me. He wants to convince me that the KTM 690 is the best bike ever. So I told him he should call in. So you might get that call, Matt. You might have to sort that out.
Yep. The hotline is up right now.
And that number for the hotline is area code 775. And you're going to have to fill in the rest.
775-318-5515 is the number. And I'm trying to fix things on the fly here. So that's why I'm not really talking right now.
I'm fixing things too. Fixing to take a sip of beer right now.
You see, that's a problem that I don't have a solution for right now.
That's why you're not ready for this show. Prep could have been a little bit better. Again, that Seat Concepts hot seat hotline is 775-318-5515. You think after as long as we've had it, I'd remember what that is. I am having tacos tonight, by the way. So just in case you were wondering, I prepped even better for tonight's show. This is what you get to do when you're a construction guy. You get off work early. You can make some tacos, have your beer, have your favorite tequila ready on point just in case, things start going south. But this is what we do on Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. I'm actually not seeing. I got to click over to the chat and see if Mark's in there because he likes to call it Tech Talk Taco and Tequila Tuesday. That's 5 T's for those of you that can't count, kind of like me. So what we do is answer your motorcycle and motorcycle product related questions. If you're watching this live, you know how to watch this live. If you're listening to it, it works as a podcast. You can do it at all the podcasting places. Share it with your friends. That really helps us out. The other thing that's helpful to us is when you send in your questions and comments, then share the answers. If you actually liked them, clip that thing out and put it on your social media channel and say, hey, Jimmy totally doesn't know what he's talking about. He told me that I should measure a base gasket like this, but I should actually do it like that, and my bike blew up. So that's the kind of advice you will not get on this particular show. We actually give you pretty good advice. We can save you a lot of money. We can make your mechanical experiences a lot easier. So if you do have a question, you can type it into the chat, and I'm going to scroll up here and get my chat thing going. I don't know why it's not going. There we go. Sometimes Matt puts it up in the corner on the thing, right?
Yeah, I can put it up right now. Yeah, right here. There it is.
Right. So
bring you down.
It's good to know. Yeah. So yeah, move me down, put the chat up there, get all the stuff.
Counter stain is staying up as well, which is it's at 0 right now.
I know, some are professional.
Very professional. I think we've come a long way.
Jose Delgado says, hello, Jimmy. Saw the new Fox Instinct boots coming out soon. What is your opinion of Fox Instincts for off-road riding? Good, bad, too stiff for off-roading? So I don't know about the new ones. Well, I have a lot of experience in the old ones. They were actually designed by some pretty clever guys. They came and did a whole media tour back when that was a thing, and back when the media actually cared about more than just the colors. We actually tested stuff. So my impression of the Fox boot is that it's probably the most comfortable boot on the market. In fact, if you just slip your foot into it without a sock on it, it was a really nice feeling boot. And that's the high end one, by the way. So that was my feeling on that. It was just right away, you just got the comfort. It was easy to, buckle in and get to. It was a little plasticky for me. There was a lot of plastic parts, and I thought it was going to be less durable than it was, but it lasted a long time and worked out really good. So was a fan. I thought maybe it flexed a little bit too much in the sole for me, and maybe a little bit too soft, but it was cushiony. Like it wasn't as stiff as I would like a boot to be. So I will try to get my hands on some of the new ones and see what they do.
Didn't you have an idea of doing a boot shootout?
We have an idea of doing a boot shootout, using kind of the collective knowledge that we, have from years of riding all these different things. And so I'm trying to get my comments up on my end here. There we go. Now I'm seeing stuff. Chris wants to know what the XT is. Chris, how long have you been watching this show? Okay. So that's what we can do. And Chris Hitchcock on YouTube says, had a set of Fox boot that lasted for 2 years of hard enduro. The soles ripped off eventually. The straps didn't even fill. And for hard enduro, that's pretty good, because generally, if you've seen hard enduro guys' bikes, generally their gear looks the same, ripped, torn, shredded. And to go through boots, that's actually pretty good. So, okay. Should we get right on to the questions? Hey, if you're looking for protection for your bike, speaking of hard enduro, Bulletproof Designs is a great company to go to. They make all kinds of protection, from radiator guards to disc guards to, they even make a front disc protector. I don't know if you're aware of this. It's kind of a new thing that's kind of trending. You get this big giant aluminum plate and you protect the front disc rotor. If you haven't been watching the show for very long, that's kind of a joke. But Bulletproof Designs does make one of those. I actually use just their little tiny clips that go on the bottom of the forks. Those are more likely to get kind of smashed up, making it hard to disassemble your forks if you're going to do some service on them. But anyways, if you contact Bulletproof Designs, let them know you heard about it on Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. They have guards available for most 23 models, and they have new foot pegs for the 23s. They're going to be available real soon. So check them out at bulletproofdesigns.com. First question, Matt. All
right, first question is going to be coming from, I believe, Bill Hall. I noticed you did not carry a chainsaw with you on your tour ride. Is a handsaw all you needed, or do you recommend a chainsaw?
I did not carry a chainsaw because I was trying to pack as light as possible. I carried a saw called a Silky Big Boy. And this is a folding saw that slides right in the side of your pack. Doesn't on the outside, I carried it and just strapped it on. Doesn't take up very much room. I wonder if it's here. I might have it in my motorhome right now. So, but no, there's no way I would carry a chainsaw. I was lucky enough that there were some locals and stuff that were around, because I was one of the first guys through on the tour that year, and they'd already gone through and done most of the clearing, and a lot of them went out and made sure, like a day or two before I came through, that the trail was going to be clear. So I was pretty lucky on that front. But no, if I didn't know that the trails were cleared, I wouldn't have done that, because you'd be cutting all day is what you'd be doing on a lot of those trails, especially in the areas where they had fire. So
right.
Next question.
All right, so this is another question from Bill Hall. Jimmy, how did you prepare for rain and or dropping your bike in the water, other than washing the cow poop off?
It was a stock KTM 500. So I had, my gear was climb gear, awesome, comfortable gear. I was wearing the Dakar. It was the Dakar over the boot pant, I'm pretty sure. Over the boot pant, it has a waterproof coating on it. Not a waterproof, a water resistant coating on it that rain generally runs off of. And having the over the boot means stuff doesn't go down into the boot. So when your pant starts getting wet, the rain runs down the pant, not into the boot. So I had that. And I was wearing a jacket that was a Gore-Tex jacket. It was probably the Traverse jacket. So that's waterproof. And I'm pretty sure that I had a pair of pack pants like that, like a Gore-Tex shell. Both, I know I had a jacket, like a real light shell jacket that I could wear underneath my regular Gore-Tex jacket. So I was double waterproofed in a sense. And I'm pretty sure I had a shell pair of pants that in case it rained, I could put on. And I don't know if I ever had to wear them. I think I had to wear them once at night when I slept in the rain. But other than that, I was good.
Sweet. See, for wet weather, what I always did was just actually have like actual rain gear when I was riding in Alaska. I just had actual rain gear on over everything.
Yeah, but this is a 7-day ride or something where
a lot different. Yeah.
If you're wearing rain gear, you're going to overheat on some of the days. I mean, it was nearly 100 degrees when I was riding through the desert, and that's not the ideal thing there. So.
Okay, so this is from the how to make sure you have the correct gasket. The little nugget we have up there. MXG guys, do you get your correct base gasket height by measuring your X dimension? This is crucial if you are changing parts. Don't just measure the old gasket.
So Matt, can you tell me what the X dimension is?
This is something that I was going to ask you. I'm like, do you know what he's talking about?
What about the Y dimension?
Well, I would assume the Z dimension is the one you're really looking for when it comes to thickness.
I was thinking for the T dimension, in all honesty. So MXG, what are you talking about? Like, what is I'm pretty sure maybe in the manual, there's an X dimension, and what I would suspect it is the X dimension. Oh boy, I don't even know what it would be, but other than you would put the cylinder on without the base gasket and then measure the squish up at the top. So, and that could be the X dimension. And then you want to add, it's going to be too short without the base gasket, and you add it in there. But listen to me. Most of us aren't that smart. So what you do is try to put back in what you had. like most of the problems on motorcycles these days are caused very simply by the last thing you did to it. And if you took it apart and then you started doing some measurements, and based on your measurements, you put it back together and it didn't work right, you probably screwed up your measurements because you had to do math, and math is hard. So you just take the calipers out and measure the gaskets you took out and put those back in. Because with a KTM gasket kit, you get a lot of gaskets and you can make a lot of adjustments there. I added 300ths of a mil. I don't even know how much I added. I added some gasket. No, I took some gaskets out of my 300. I don't remember what I did, but it worked great. So because I know what I'm doing, and I don't know what the X dimension is. So if you could get back to us, MXG, and explain the X dimension, because like I think sometimes I feel like I'm living in the X dimension, especially doing the show. I mean, look at me and Matt are wearing the same shirt. That's kind of weird. That's X dimension shit.
One of us has to change, which it's me, because I actually have a shirt right next to me here.
Oh wait.
Whoa.
If you're not careful, I'm gonna go and get the same shirt that you're gonna put on.
Well, let's see here. So a Facebook user, the X dimension is used to determine a barcode's density, which is the amount of information that can be captured in a barcode within a specific amount of space. Other elements of a barcode are expressed as multiples of the X dimension. For instance, to ensure accurate scanning, most barcodes have a quiet zone whose width is 10 times or 10 times the barcode's X dimension.
This is as stupid as the stuff that we say. So, yeah.
In general, the greater the X dimension. Well, there we go.
So that's good. That's good that somebody figured that out. That's super awesome for us. Okay, next question.
Okay. So this is from the CRF 250F impression. Max Martin, he commented they really need to make a CRF 400F. A modern version of the XR 400R would sell for sure. And just my limited experience with the XR 400, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that statement.
You don't know what you're talking about. How many hours do you have on an XR 400?
Probably I have a class worth and then some. So we'll say about 10 hours on an XR 400.
Right. So it's I probably have like 1 million hours. I'm just guessing, rounding up a little bit.
Right.
He's exactly right, because I've said this for years. We need a mid-sized play bike, like something that's just like XR 400-ish. Although XR 400 at the time, like when they first brought that thing out, they told you like this is a competition bike. This thing can win enduros, and I mean they tried racing it. I was one of the first people ever raced an XR 400 in the Nevada route, and they were kind of like trying to show you how, you know, this kind of, at the time they said high performance 4-stroke. and it started like not even near high performance 4-stroke, but it was okay at the time, and it worked its way right down into what a great play bike. And it was kind of like a KTM 690, something that tried to do everything, but it wasn't good at anything. And probably the worst thing about it was that it did not have electric starting. You had to kickstart it. And then, it was heavy, and it didn't have a whole lot of power. And other than that, everything else about it was great. I mean, but think about things that you want on a motorcycle. You want a lot of power and you want lightweight, and it didn't have either of those two. So all of a sudden, we're out. But great bike. But if a manufacturer, I think that if a manufacturer built that mid-sized bike, there's a lot of people that are smart enough to realize, hey, I don't need the $10,000 KTM or the $12,000, $14,000 bike. And if they had something that was around $7,000, $6,000 in that market, in that zone, I think it would kill it. So, but I don't know. Nobody does it, but I think they kind of expect the used bike market to sort of take care of that problem. Old bikes, people will buy old bikes and
right,
get it going. My guess.
Yeah, some Utah Desert Riders just put the bike in the chat that I was thinking of, the cross trainer. But the cross trainer still isn't cheap.
It's not cheap. It needs to be $2,000 cheaper. It does have the less suspension. It has a good motor. It's close.
Mm-hmm.
It's close, but it's also a kind of a smaller bike. It's not a full size bike. And when you start looking at it, what are you comparing it with? 250 4-strokes that are also kind of shrunk down bikes. The KTM, what do they call it? E-Ride, E-Free Ride?
The Free Ride E-XC.
Yeah, Free Ride E-XC, which is another $10,000, $12,000 bike, right?
I was going to say 12,000.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely not. It definitely does not take the place of the XR400.
No, and it's not even price wise. It's double of some of the other bikes that you're using. So, yeah, that's my that question.
Cool. All right, so Cesar Perez on the same video. Would this be a good starter bike? I have almost no experience besides bicycles. I am 5'6" and 190 pounds. I don't want to be too big. I don't want it to be too big and intimidating. I have a pretty good motor skills if that helps at all. Thanks. Thinking of picking this up. I'm going back and forth.
What is he talking about?
The CRF 250F.
5'6", 190. Oh, he doesn't want that bike to be intimidating?
Yeah.
It's not. That bike is anything but intimidating.
No,
and at 5'6", I can see where, okay, maybe you're feeling a little uncomfortable. This is the point where people, when they're shorter, especially new riders, they want to put their feet on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And that's such a bad habit. That's why we run a riding school. You may be familiar with this riding school. Matt, don't you do private riding instruction for people like this?
Yeah. And this same instruction is actually available on jimmylewisoffroad.com.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
You can support me so I don't have to go get a real job and I can keep my wife happy by going to www.jimmylewisoffroad.com and click on our online courses. And for a mere $40, you can at least learn how to start riding the right way. So, and Caesar, you would not be intimidated by a CRF 250 after you took this class. In fact, we use the super gnarly Radical Beta cross trainer as our demonstration bike. So shows how that works. We put this little kid. We put this little kid on it who wasn't much more than 5'6" at the time. And then we fired him. So
yeah. We talking about old co-host?
Do we have old co-hosts? We don't look in the past, Matt. We just kind of we just keep moving along. Fire them and move along.
Got it. Okay.
Coors Light needs to make a bike. That would be probably the XR400 of bikes, a beer. A Coors Light bike would be. It's kind of like a bike. It's kind of like a motorcycle, but it has like kind of all the characteristics of the motor. It'd be really popular. A lot of people would drink it, but then Bud Light would make a bike, and then it would get popular with Victor and his crew.
Right.
Actually, I think Victor drinks those kind of fancy schmancy, things like this. Oh, look what creeped into the screen.
Ooh.
Look what I got there. Look at how frosty and cold that is.
Oh, that looks good. And it sounds good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm
backwards. So go ahead, back to the damn show.
Right back to the show before I get too distracted and shut it down so I can go get a beer. So from G2 on the same CRF 250F impression, and then we'll move into some questions from the chat. G2 is saying, I wish they'd make that a lighter version of that bike. It'd be cool to have a Japanese bike that compares to the Beta Cross Trainer when it comes to the weight.
What's the weight, Matt? Do you recall off the top of your head?
It was around 250, 260.
Remember cross.
Oh, for the Cross Trainer? Oh, off the top of my head. I literally was looking at this.
No, that CRF's got to be heavier than 250.
I thought it was like around 260 or so, right?
Yeah, I would. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head either, but I would almost be willing to bet that the cross trainer is 30 pounds lighter, and you're not going to get a bike in that price range, 30 pounds lighter. It's just it's impossible.
Yeah.
That's they're building something that's like indestructible, number one, so that adds weight, and then they're using lesser materials, and that adds weight, and then you end up with that. So anyways, my wife just walked in. She wonders what the hell I'm doing in her house, trying to run a show. Look at
That's
this.
the first time.
You can smile. You're on the show right there. You won't pop up at the show.
Hello.
Somebody has to work to support me in the lifestyle I've become accustomed to. So she's coming back because I'm doing some construction work around here, and she wants to see what's broken. She wonders, does the water still work? Can I use the toilet? And is the shower work?
And where's my tequila?
Where's my tequila? Yeah.
The most important question.
Okay.
All right, so I want to move to a question from Dave Black in the chat. I'm wanting to replace my Husky 501 clutch plates. Looking at a Recluse and Hinson, will these have a different feel, different from OEM?
Dave, you probably won't feel it. Where you feel where a really sensitive rider feels that is like when they're doing starts, like real high stress stuff on the clutch, or they'll notice a different grabbiness when you're really in technical situations and really working the clutch lever. But there is some differences, like the Hinson tries to use, like I would say, slightly I don't want to call them better materials. I think they tune their materials for what they feel like is a better direction. And then Recluse actually uses a larger number of plates, and so larger number but thinner, with more surface area. So Recluse also, and I don't want to call it better, I want to say they're tuning for a different kind of a feel. So, but if you don't, I think where I really notice is like if you're doing starts, like motocross style starts, or you're really abusing the clutch, like extreme enduro stuff where you really need to feel kind of the traction and you want a certain kind of a feel. Some of them bite a little bit harder, they grab a little bit harder, and some of them will slip and they have a smoother engagement. And so generally the stock, and I don't know why you would want to replace your stock Husky clutch plates, because you've seen all those bikes in my garage, and almost every single one of them still has, the ones that are standard still have the stock clutch plates in them, and the ones that are Recluse, they have the Recluse plates in them, and they're 500 hours old. So they don't wear.
Right. Okay, so Ryan Hanna.
Ryan Hanna, you know that guy?
Yeah, cool guy. I like his painting here. I'm gonna
you covered
hide
up
the chat.
you covered up with the chat. Yeah. So take the chat down, Matt. Can you do that without wrecking our whole show?
Oh yeah, it's just one of the many buttons in front of me. I can put it back up rapid fire. But anyway,
that is Ryan Hanna's artwork. Ryan, you should post up your artwork. Wow, look at that's one button away.
Plug the Instagram, Ryan.
And so Ryan is, do you suggest a KTM 620 adventure for off-road racing? The answer is a resounding, absolutely 100% no. And especially if it's a bike you bought from me. And when I sold it to you, I said, don't go racing this thing. That would be really stupid. It's kind of sounds like something that would catch on fire is what it sounds like to me. So hope you.
Do we get to hear the story behind the catching on fire statement?
Tell Ryan to call into the hotline. He can tell it.
Yeah.
Ryan, here's the hotline number. Hot Seat Concepts Hot Seat Hotline. Hey, if you're looking for a seat for any bike, including a Husaberg 570, which would have been a much better race bike, Ryan. Like, why didn't you just ask me? Why didn't you try to? You never would have. I never would have sold it. The Seat Concepts Hot Seat Hotline. The number is 775-318-5515. You can call in, and I think you can call in and leave a message if you're listening to this show on the what do they call that? The iPods. Yeah, if
The
you're
podcast
yeah,
feed.
if you're iPodding this show, you can call in and yell at actually, if you had a couple too many tequilas and you're pissed because we can't give you the X dimension, you can call in right now and tell us what you think of this show. And then hopefully Ryan will call in.
I would say you get to talk to Maddox, but he's not in tonight. He's out with disease.
A disease?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Monkeypox.
No, strep throat.
Oh. So, okay. Next question.
Okay. Dimitri. Oh, I apologize for this pronunciation.
Azazello. Yeah.
Azazello. KTM 150 XCW TPI. Mostly just trail ridden, and I really enjoyed it for that. Hard enduro type terrain, I expect to struggle with it, but so far some things it does okay. Some require using a different technique, and only some of it really sucks at. Any tips, tricks, or recommendations for using a small bore 2-stroke for gnarly stuff? By the way, crush suspension on it made a world of a difference versus stock for 160-pound rider.
Oh, awesome, Dimitri. Glad that crush stuff worked out. I was really happy with mine. So, okay, some require using a different technique only, and some it really sucks at. So, I think the technique he's talking about is sending it into stuff because you just don't have the torque. You can't let the bike necessarily bog down. And when those small bore bikes come on the pipe, the power ramps up pretty quick. It ramps up quick, and it also falls off pretty quick. And so it's kind of, we call it, the terminology in the motorcycle world is like it's a little light switchy. It's on or off. And really good riders are able to finesse it with the clutch, but that's really hard on the clutch, and it generates a lot of heat inside the motor. But you can't just kind of, I mean, a KTM 150 is so much better than older 125s. So, and with the fuel injection, the power band gets that much longer, but it's never going to be like a 254 stroke or a 300 or 252 stroke. I mean, the one thing that KTM 200 had was really good torque for such a light bike, but then KTM made a 300 that weighed the same thing, and now you can get a ton. So I don't think that there's anything. I'm trying to think if there's, the problem with the heavy flywheel. Everybody says, okay, get a heavy flywheel. The problem with that is, as much as it kind of helps give it some torque, some inertia at lower RPMs, it's also harder for it to get it to spin up. So that light switchy point also becomes a little more amplified in my world. But every once in a while, adding that flywheel weight means it doesn't bog down as easy. So it's not going to have like torque like a 300, but it won't fall off the pipe as much. The other thing that can really help is playing around with the power valve adjustment. And when you can find a way to keep the power valve shut down more. And this is like it's a little bit dangerous because it builds up heat as well, and they can start to detonate a little bit. And a lot of times in the small bikes, you don't hear them so much. But if you keep the power valve shut down a little more, the bike doesn't come on the pipe as much. And so it sort of bogs a little bit. You're putting enough gas in there to make the power, but it doesn't want to rev up. So, Dimitri, those are things I would say. The easiest thing to do is flywheel, because just buy the little tool. Enduro Engineering makes a really nice little tool that you can go and try just adding quarter turns, mark it, and then put it a turn in and try it and see if you change it. Then take the turn out and go a turn out and see if you like it. Because sometimes even having the power valve flop open really early will also allow the bike to bog a little bit longer. So you're just trying to find that happy spot. I know KTM doesn't really recommend adjusting the power valve anymore because you can do some damage if you're not sensitive to it, but that'd be the first thing I try. Second thing I would try would be flywheel weight. Of course, there's the obvious stuff. Gearing makes a big difference. Finding the right gearing. Tire size in the rear makes a big difference, because if you get a bigger tire, sometimes the bike resists revving up and coming on the pipe. Sometimes going to a smaller tire, it allows it to rev up and come on the pipe, and that kind of goes hand in hand with the gearing. And then of course there's all these different pipe and muffler combinations. Shorter and longer mufflers will probably be your best bet if you want to tune that way, but it's personal preference. Like sometimes the longer muffler actually makes the bike have more power, but it smooths it out over time. So yeah, lots of options there for you. So hopefully that helps out. Dimitri, let me know after you try some of this stuff. Let us know what you came back with. I always like to hear back.
Yeah,
from guys.
Definitely. Please do. All right. We do have a Mr. Trevor Hunter calling in via Zoom.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we bring Trevor on?
Yeah, bringing him on right now. This is my first time having two people on a Zoom call on the show, so this will be...
You're probably going to break the internets.
Probably. We'll see here.
So for those of you who don't know, Trevor Hunter is our cub reporter at dirtbiketest.com. That's his finger. Usually Trevor tells me I'm number one with one finger, but that's not what we're seeing right now. And Matt's trying to figure out how to get two things on the screen.
There we go.
You're better at this now. Trevor, welcome to Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. Number one, yeah, that's the one. It's usually the other side of the hand. It's the one in the middle.
Oh, okay. Next time.
Awesome. So what have you been up to?
We've been riding some dirt bikes, riding some new ones, some old ones, and everything in between.
So you can't talk about one of them that much, right?
Maybe.
Embargo till what? 6 o'clock tomorrow morning?
Yep. But no one listens, so.
Okay, hold on.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I did a sound effect. I can make this show worse. Just give me some time. So new Kawasaki KX250.
Yep. Yeah, they made a lot of changes, or not a lot, but some bigger changes to the motor, internal stuff, and then just revised suspension and the usual, but mainly the motor stuff was a big thing this year.
So it's kind of the same bike, but a lot of improvements.
Yeah, a lot larger, the same platform, just some kind of smaller internal motor. Like they updated the valves, heavier flywheel. They repositioned one of the fuel injectors, just stuff like that.
All the stuff that I just told Dimitri to do to his KTM 150.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Right on. Hey, when is Alpine Stars ride day?
That is tomorrow. It's supposed to be 108 at Paris.
Oh,
Good.
wow.
So should be lovely.
Do they have vented gear for you?
They sent me some gear, and it looks kind of vented, but probably not vented enough for 108.
Is it black?
It's white.
Yeah, last year they gave me
there we
all
go.
black stuff when I went to that intro.
That's not good.
So are you going to try to get Eli Tomac on your podcast?
Yeah, I think I'll get him on the show, and then we'll get him to win 24-hour with us. Since we're going.
Oh, you're going Yamaha? Yeah,
There
he's
you go.
retired from the outdoor stuff. The guy likes to ride. I mean, it's probably the same weekend as the Motocross of Nations, right?
Weekend after. So
he's probably free. You might want to
Yeah.
talk to him about that. He's kind of an endurance athlete. He's kind of good. I wouldn't see why he wouldn't do it.
I'll challenge him to a mountain bike race. If I win, he's on the team. If I
Whoa.
lose, and
I don't know how that would go.
I don't like my odds, but
You know, no, you should go straight for his dad.
Ooh, that
Like,
might
just try to
Oh.
win that fight.
Yeah, you gotta keep that mountain bike thing in your back pocket. That's worked your advantage a couple times.
it has.
So what else is on dirtbiketest.com, the website that I own that I hardly check all the time?
I don't even know. Much stuff.
Who runs that thing?
I don't know.
You got your brother to run it yet?
No, but we're working. He just moved up from like a super mini or big wheel 85 to a 125. So we'll have something coming with that pretty soon here. 125.
So has he cartwheeled it yet? Keep the counter going, Matt.
Oh yeah, don't worry, I got it. It's pretty high.
No cartwheels yet. He's only raced it one time at SRA a couple weeks ago. It's no cartwheel yet, but it's coming. I know that.
Did he put a hole in the head yet?
Not yet.
No. Okay.
He doesn't ride it hard enough to do that.
Kind of sounds like he's better than you in a lot of ways.
I mean, it's not that hard to do, so I hope so. But I think I'll be riding our 125 tomorrow night, so hopefully that'll.
Man, so they're doing it in the afternoon, evening.
Yeah, like 4 to 8 or 4 to 9, something like that.
Ooh.
But it's still gonna be hot.
Yeah, I'd like to come out, but I got like plumbing and like some framing work to do. It's not looking good. Not looking good here. Could be driving me to drinking, but I don't know.
With that.
So have you been helping Matt at all with this beginner rider stuff?
I've been trying to help a little bit. He seems to be doing pretty good without my help. So
Okay.
I tell him just drags him down a little bit, but everything, all his videos are pretty good. Comparing CRF 250Fs to KTM 300s, that seems to be pretty good thing.
God.
Did we cause some problems with that? Did we confuse some people?
A little bit.
I think a lot of people felt like their 300 egos were attacked.
Yes.
Oh,
I think a lot of people are very insecure.
They also didn't watch the whole thing. They just collectively watched. So
but hey, we found out how to make an Instagram reel go viral.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know this. Maybe and they all said I was an idiot, right? Is that the best part of it?
Precisely, yeah.
Yeah. Trevor and I didn't get any blowback for this. Even
I didn't even see it. I should go on the social media and check. My social media advisor didn't. Yeah, she's gonna go check it. Just don't make it out loud. And don't. The internet's here.
There's lots of comments.
You're not charging up a battery and like wrecking the whole California grid, are you? Yeah. Am I a bad person for charging my phone battery right now?
I'm charging my car, my EV.
Yeah. We don't have an EV. Okay, so Trevor, why don't you stick on here and help us answer some of these questions?
All right.
Matt, we'll get to the next one.
Okay. So this is going to be from, we'll stick with the chat. So from Victor Andrade. Do they make seats for Africa Twins? I can't feel my farts after riding 2 hours, and those farts may become sharts if you don't feel. You can never trust one.
This is why Victor gets banned from Facebook every once in a while. Yes, they actually, Victor, they make the fart finder seat. It's a special one. It's probably got ribs. I don't know. You can go on their website. It's seatconcepts.com. And I know they make seats for Africa Twin. And actually, their adventure bike seats are really good because a lot of the manufacturers like to make ball crusher style seats. And by that, I mean, they want the seat height to be low and it rams your balls or your coochie, if you're a female, into the gas tank, and it makes it uncomfortable. So they actually they've got a good system down there.
Nice. Okay, sorry. I was Trevor and I were talking, you know.
Okay.
NorCal Enduro Rider is asking, Jimmy, what bike would you put the LC4 in?
What bike? Repeat the question.
What bike would you put the LC4 in? And he put this when we were talking about the 620.
What bike would I put it in? You mean the engine?
Yeah, like the engine.
I wouldn't put it in a motorcycle. I'd put it in a chair that would vibrate and give you a massage.
Oh, like Fabio over here.
Yeah. It's more of a massage thing than an engine.
Mm-hmm.
That was a well unbalanced motorcycle. I raced 2 of them in Dakar. I know.
So between the engines, how did that compare to the BMW engines that you raced over there?
Oh, no comparison at all. They made like a third the horsepower and they vibrated like crazy. Hey, Jim Jarvis says the X dimension is the distance from the top of the piston to the top of the cylinder deck at top dead center. Hey, isn't that what I said?
I believe so.
As a guess?
Yeah.
I guessed that. Yeah, NorCal. I would not put it in anything. It was a good thing. Is the Seat Concepts hotline working? Greg M asks.
It is, and I just noticed he's in. We don't have a screener right now, and I was busy operating the Zoom call.
You were having a little side discussion with Matt or with Trevor.
Right. Yeah.
What were you guys talking about, Trevor?
Talking business.
Was Matt trying to get the invite to the Alpine Stars intro?
He was not, but
no, I wish I could make it, but I got beginner bikes and other stuff to do here in Vegas.
Yeah.
All right.
Right
so actually this is so Greg is in here. I can't remember if you can't hear him or if he can't hear you. There's one of these things here. So I'll bring him on
we'll
really
find
quick.
out.
Yep. All right, Greg, you are on the Hot Seat Hotline. Welcome.
Thank you, guys. How you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. So Jimmy, can you hear him?
Good.
We can hear Greg. I don't know if he can hear us. If he can't hear us, just say I don't know what. It sounds like Jimmy's talking and I don't hear him.
Okay.
Which means he can't hear us.
My question is, I have a Seat Concept standard. I'm 5'6", and it's on a KTM 300. It's a little tall. Should I cut the foam and make it slimmer, or should I leave it and do something else, get a different seat, or?
I want to know what type of riding is he doing, first of all.
So Greg, Jimmy was, so they can hear you. So Greg, Jimmy was wondering what kind of riding are you doing?
A lot of desert and some single track, but mostly desert.
And so the problem with being 5'6" is you're having a hard time putting your foot on the ground, correct?
Oh, so with 5'6", being 5'6", are you having a hard time putting a foot on the ground?
Yes.
All right.
Stand up more. Have this
Trevor,
problem ride.
Okay, hey, Greg, I think we got your question. Why don't you go ahead and hang up, and then we'll kind of discuss this for a little bit. And if we don't answer it, go ahead and give us a call back. And because the problem is you can't hear us because if we had a better producer, I've been told we had a better producer, Trevor, that they would figure out how to make the callers hear what we're saying even when we're remote on these Zoom calls. But evidently, hey, Greg, thanks a lot for calling.
All right, bye.
All right, thank you, Greg.
Yeah. So
Later.
So when I always get the question about the seat height, when he said 5'6" and he had the standard seat on there, I go, okay, that's like a tall seat for me. And the reason I asked the type of riding was if you're doing like extreme enduro, then the seat height becomes kind of an issue. If you're doing any other type of riding, this includes like trail riding, single track riding, not extreme enduro. You got to do some pretty stupid stuff and you need to put your feet on the ground. Other than that, you don't want to put your feet on the ground. You don't want to put a foot down. And if you do, you put a foot down, one or the other. And at 5'6", you have plenty of leg to touch the ground. Am I correct, Trevor?
I wouldn't say plenty of leg, but you have enough to get the job done.
Okay. You would like more leg then.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt, but I'm also
Okay, when you are racing or riding single track, when do you want to put your foot down?
The start of the race and the end of the race. Or if I'm riding single track, when I'm stopping or starting. Never when I'm riding.
Okay, so when you're just riding, you come to something technical, and this is what I'm glad you said this. You don't want to put your foot down. You want to ride through without putting your foot down. So it's this kind of like, oh, I don't know. That's where I always say, I think it says it on the back of my shirt. It says the best modification for your bike is a better rider. So aside from everything else, when you quit trying to put your feet on the ground, a lot of your problems go away, especially with short legs. And I know that it's a confidence thing or whatever. So I would be really careful about cutting seats or taking seats down, because they, when you start cutting them, especially if it's not done by somebody who really understands it, you start building these pockets, or you get an area where you get stuck. And then you start noticing that same rider likes to sit down all the time, because then they can put their feet on the ground if they're sitting down. I can't even put my feet on the ground when I sit down on a motorcycle. I have to pick a side and use the foot peg on one side to put me over to the other side. And I'm 5'10". So it's a little bit of riding technique, and a lot of, I would really try to stay away from lowering the seat, because then what happens is when you do sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, which you do have a lot of when you're trail riding, you're in the desert, is that lower seat, it folds your knees a lot more and you get more tired. So you actually, by trying to make your bike more comfortable and easier to ride, you make yourself more tired, and then you make more mistakes and you have to put your feet on the ground more, and it's a bad circle. And I'm not as crazy as some of the other people that try to tell you different things like this. So
As a short guy, I agree with all that. Yeah.
thank you, Trevor.
Right.
That's really strange. You agreeing with what I say.
Doesn't happen often.
Heather's 5'6", and she said the same thing. She just yelled at me. She goes, I agree too.
Yep. Stand up. Don't sit down, or don't touch the ground.
Yeah. So hopefully, hey, Greg, hopefully that helps. If we didn't solve your problem, or if the problem requires deeper thought, call us back and we will we'll discuss it further. And you can probably make me look bad.
Or make me look
Ryan,
bad.
Ryan Hanna is back. I dared him to call in on the Hot Seats hotline too, but you need to tell your story about that KTM 620. I think everybody wants to know about this.
I definitely do. I think it'd be fun.
Yep. So what's on the agenda, Trevor?
So-
You're getting Eli Tomac for the 24-hour team. That's awesome.
Yep.
I'll break that news on the Instagrams pretty quick. Anything else? Anything else we need to know about?
What else do we have? We
That was two, Matt. You click that sucker twice.
Oh, yeah, the counter. I'm just gonna
if-
put a lot instead of
Oh, a
numbers.
lot. See, Trevor, when you're trying to sell advertising, that's a pretty key thing. It could say somebody's brand name, the something counter, and you could tell them, I am the best at delivering you exposure.
guaranteed every time. Bump it up.
Right.
No. What else do we have? We have some Yamaha stuff going on, I guess. That 450FX. We're working on getting a Cowie 450X, and then maybe trying from there do like a 450FX shootout to go along with our play bike, trail bike shootout.
And the super awesome 250 cross country shootout as well.
Yep, 250 off-road shootout. That's already on the site. The Cowie 250 intro. That'll be that impression, video and written. We here at Dirt Bike Test. That'll be up tomorrow. And yeah, some other cool stuff that hopefully no one else is doing.
Hey, I've got a KLR 650 impression test that's the video's all shot. I just need to edit it. So that's I did have a really somber experience in riding that bike. I was amazed at how many broken milk crates that the bike saw when we were riding along the road. It's like, you know how when you're driving, you see crosses and stuff like this. If you start riding a KLR, you start paying attention to how many broken milk crates you see out in the wild. So,
Yeah.
Hey, and breaking news. So on my ride a couple weeks ago, I went riding for about 6 days or so straight. I rode a 2019 KTM 300, by the way. And my buddy Dave rode a brand new 2022. It was right off the showroom floor, had 6 hours on it. And neither of our bikes grenaded or exploded on the entire ride. Not once. And I submarined mine, by the way. So just in case you were wondering.
So I do believe Ryan's in. We do have someone in the call.
Oh, good. Let's take Ryan before we go to break, and we'll get this story out of the way here.
All right.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, and I believe Jimmy and Trevor can hear you as well. This is Ryan, correct?
Yes.
Because I only see the number.
Did I win the prize? Like, I called in for the sweepstakes.
Oh, the sweepstakes. Yeah, we're giving a free.
Can you hear me still?
I can hear you. Jimmy's talking. He's
But
we're still working out the bugs with this setup.
No, I'm happy to help. Happy to help. I can't hear anyone else but you. So
that's good, right. Matt. Tell him that the sweepstakes is he gets to race me around the flat track.
I guess I'll put you in on
at Area 61.
All right, so Jimmy was saying the sweepstakes is you get to race him at the flat track at Area 61.
You got it. Yeah. I'm borrowing a XR100 though. Just tell him not to break my don't break my femur or any of my leg bones, please.
Yeah, he knows a little too much. So Matt, tell him to tell the story about the 620 KTM adventure.
So you're gonna have to relay because I can't hear anything.
Yeah, no. He was so essentially he wants you to tell the story about the KTM 620.
So there I was, 17-year-old boy, dreams of off-road racing in my future, and I have Jimmy Lewis as a mentor, we'll call it, and he has these bikes for sale. One of them happens to be a rally bike lookalike that I had already spent an egregious amount of miles on and punished. And then he sold me this bike for a song and then told me not to race it. So immediately I took it and did the Nevada 1000. Makes it the first day kind of unscathed. A lot of parts fell off. Second day, the gas cap fell off, I think. Or gas cap gasket fell off because of a faulty pit crew maneuver. Knocked the carburetor off the boot, sucked a bunch of sand in, and then now I have the KTM mechanics telling me it won't make it to day three. Day three, I cartwheeled down a wash again, and then as the bike finally seizes up, doing about 95 miles an hour down a dirt road. And that was my first race ever. Thanks to Jimmy Lewis, had a perfect motorcycle. So 620 Adventure, folks, that is the ultimate race bike.
Okay, let me add some stuff. So good. Tell Ryan to turn down his volume and turn up the feed, and it'll catch up. He'll be watching on delay.
Yeah. So Ryan, are you able to put the show on, kind of like as in the background while you're on the call?
Yeah, I don't know. You're all broken up again, bud.
Oh, now I'm breaking up.
His whole internet. So okay, tell him to hang up on himself, and I'll finish the story. And then like usual, the technology on this show is just off the chart. So how many hours did you spend working on solving this problem?
Me?
Yeah.
On this problem?
You didn't think I was working on it, did you?
No, I haven't really spent many hours on this because I wasn't sure if it was a problem that can be fixed, and I've been trying to fix the other problems here. And we weren't getting a whole lot of callers to make it as urgent as some of the other problems.
How's my cat? Is my cat happy?
I did not see your cat today, unfortunately. Last time I saw her, she was very nice. She came and said hi to my mom and I while we were filming some stuff for the beginner shootout. and gave both my mom and I allergic reactions just by being the presence.
Good cat, yeah, good cat.
Yeah. We did get a wonderful shot of her butt. You know.
Yeah, I got a collection. You know that's up on my Grinder account, by the way.
Oh yeah,
hey,
yeah. It's just brown eyes.
Brown eye, yeah, my brown eye collection.
You're looking for someone with nice brown eyes.
Let me get back to Ryan's story here on this. See, I forgot about what caught on fire, and it wasn't the bike; it was actually his nut. Because when he did a fuel stop, and the gasket fell out of the gas cap, and they put it back on, and this thing had a big giant tank, and it just kept splashing gas, and it went on his nuts, and those lit on fire. So I think he had a big problem because of that. That caused a lot of problems during his race. And I'm not sure why it locked up exactly, but I think it probably had something to do with not having enough oil in it. It's usually what happens. But that bike, I told him, don't race this thing because it was just a problem waiting to happen. It had a lot of miles on it. It was another Cycle World magazine long-term bike that I had put way too many miles on it. And yeah, it was one of the few bikes I ever sold. But good riddance at the vibrator. So good to talk to you, Ryan. We'll see you out at the flat track for your no expenses included trip out to Pahrump, Nevada, where you can sleep in the dirt and race flat track with me. But you have to water the track.
After being, well, does he already have the training to water the track, or would he need to go through the Jimmy Lewis track watering course?
You mean where I yell at you because you didn't do it right?
Yeah. I say course. Kind of generous use of the word course. Also, there's flies in your studio, Jimmy.
Oh, really?
Well, not okay. I think there's just one, but
it could be a wasp.
Oh yeah, no. If it was a wasp, I'd already be out of here.
It makes the show interesting,
right?
I thought you were going to change your shirt. Hey, we got to take a commercial break here.
Yeah, I'll come back with a new shirt then.
Trevor, you going to stick around for Roostendo? You got time there? Or you got to do some training.
Sure, I do. I have a user submitted question though for you specifically.
Okay, we'll do this right after the commercial break, and
All right.
we'll catch you in a couple minutes here. So hey, watch these commercials, support the companies that support us. It really helps us keep going, and they wouldn't be sponsors in the show if we didn't like what they were selling. So hit it, Matt.
What's up, Moto Buddies? Mike here from Taco Moto Co. What is the Taco Touch? It's the best service in the industry. Virtually 24/7 tech support via email or text, and it's like having a dirt bike doctor on call every day of the year, helping you fix your bike or recommend parts or setups for you. If you've ever received an order from us, you know that the Taco Touch extends to our fulfillment, and our orders come with the coolest stickers that you've ever had, buying parts from anybody before, and a handful of root beer barrel candies. All of our Taco Moto Co. branded components come with a no questions asked lifetime warranty, and we'll even extend out the warranty of other manufacturers, OEM, and aftermarket parts where we can, sometimes for life. We test and tune endlessly and exhaustively and obsessively. We're trying to destroy everything that we can before you get your hands on it to look for weaknesses and to improve it, or to make recommendations to the manufacturer. And if it's something that doesn't meet grade, then we don't offer it on the store. Everything that we carry is something that we have personally used, tested, and ridden, and raced, and knows meets the high Taco Touch demanding standard. Go out and get some adventure.
Since 2009, Seat Concepts has been dedicated to making the best aftermarket seats. More comfort, more grip, more riding. For 10 years, we've continued to raise the bar. Innovation and American craftsmanship make Seat Concepts the world-leading manufacturer of power sports seats.
One. And we're back.
Welcome back
There
to
we go.
Tech Talk Taco Tuesday.
Oh, apparently my camera is frozen on the Zoom call there.
Okay, well,
So-
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, no, we're fine. No, it's all good. It Zoom doesn't like my camera, but the podcast doesn't mind the other important software doesn't mind my camera. So all's well.
Okay. Well, we are getting close to that segment. Everybody's favorite segment, Rooster Endo. This is where you send us a picture of your bike and you tell us about the modifications that you've done to your bike. And just tell us what you've done to it. Send us a good picture of your bike, because I get kind of picky about this stuff. And then we will tell you what we think of it. And if you're our favorite one of that night, for some particular reason, you will win a $100 gift certificate to Takamoto. That's tacomoto.co. You can get pretty much anything you need for your motorcycle there, and it's a good resource. Taco Mike does a lot of informative videos on the modifications, really, especially catering towards the KTMs, the Huskies, the gases, but he's also getting into other makes and models as well. So, Trevor, before the break, you said you had a cool question that was directed at me.
Yeah, they may be calling in, so we'll push that off for a little bit.
Oh
Okay.
wait, they're calling in. Oh, I
Maybe.
shut down the line.
Oh. Well, then maybe you're going to have
Colin.
to translate the question. So tell your dad to just come in and stand behind you and ask the question.
No. It's way better than anything he could ask.
Did you guys get your wheel thing figured out? Did the super top secret wheel setup with moose and other stuff, did that go anyplace?
I reverted back to tubes for this weekend, and I got a flat. So no, not anywhere.
I told you who to talk to and what to do about it, and it'll go away. All the problems will go away.
I'll get on that. I've been slacking. I'll get on that.
Everybody thinks that I just talk to hear myself talk, okay? And I know you think the same thing, and especially your dad thinks that. But it's actually, some of it is actually decent information. You can ask a couple people.
You've given me a lot of good bike setup tips and advice, so I haven't completely lost my trust in you.
Then how come you don't work on this wheel problem thing?
I don't know. I'm lazy. I'm a millennial. I don't want to put that much work in.
I learned a lot about millennials. I learned a lot about millennials on Coast to Coast AM the other night. Yeah, drove really late. I listened to the radio. The radio is that thing that used to be in the center of your car, and you turn it on and like music would come out.
This?
No, that's your camera. That's
Oh,
that's your
okay.
camera, Trevor. He just held up an iPhone and wondered what it was. So that's the thing you put on your bike that tells you your heart rate.
Okay. That makes more sense.
So, okay. So we're gonna get this call. I see Matt working on getting the call center set back up.
Call center, yeah. Hot Seat Hotline is back up, but there is one thing that Trevor mentioned that I did want to ask about. So you mentioned heart rate, and I've heard there's a little bit of debate about the chest monitor versus the wrist monitor. Is the chest monitor actually more accurate, or is it kind of meh? They're both accurate.
I'm not a super trainer, like smart person at all, but I do wear like a chest strap when I'm like exercising. And then I wear this like Whoop band thing that tracks me all day.
Okay.
And the chest strap, it's usually really close, but the average is usually pretty close, but the max is always seems to be more accurate on the chest strap.
Okay.
Wrist, whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know the science behind that.
Matt, that's different than the collar that I have to wear on my ankle.
Right. Well, when you kept putting your cat's ass on the grinder, they had to come crack down on you eventually.
Yeah, I only send those pictures to George, but then yeah, that's how it works. Hey, so I think we want to make sure that we have a little more volume on the Zoom call when it comes in, so we can hear this.
Yeah. Well, I think.
Oh, you don't think I want to hear the Zoom call? Maybe it's better that I don't hear it.
Wait, the Zoom call, or you mean the phone call?
The phone
Two
call.
different things.
Yeah, the phone,
okay.
Sorry, the phone call.
Yeah.
Hey,
well,
this is why I don't run the show. This is why I just answer the motorcycle questions.
I was trying to bring this all around to make a joke about how like the millennial and radio thing that you were alluding to, but
you'll work on it.
My brain's doing so many things at once. I can't necessarily form my joke here.
Well, that's okay. So Brent V said on your KLX 230R S impression, great review, guys. I didn't realize those were EFI. He's looking forward to the next update. Yeah. Did you allude that there's going to be another update on that bike?
Yes, in the comparison.
Okay. Oh, in the full comparison. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking of taking those things out and getting more super rad, awesome footage. Did anybody see? I went on this thing called Instagram the other day, and I saw a photo of me getting super rad on a Yamaha XT225 Cero. I think I tagged Trevor in it. Did you see that, Trevor?
I saw that.
Oh,
that's what you got to do on these beginner bike things. Everybody can put them around and drag their feet on the ground and do a little burnout. But if you want to get stylish, so if you're wondering, you can follow me at what's my Instagrams?
I think
it's just Dirt Bike Test. At jimmytest.instagram.lewis something.
I'm pretty sure you're just at jimmy.lewis.
I think it's _Jimmy_Lewis, but I don't even remember where it was, but I saw it. Chris Holtner posted that. He was our guest on last week's show.
Yeah, which is a really good show. Everyone should go watch it or listen to it if they haven't already.
Yeah. I'm sorry I can't live up to what he brought, but I'm trying.
It's easy, Trevor. Look, I wasn't very smart. I just I wanted to get on the cover of a magazine. And in all honesty, so when I was doing that stuff on the play bikes, that's where I started. I didn't get to go test the CR250 and the KX250 like you pretty ponies that get to go to all the awesome intros. I had to start out by driving from Ventura all the way down to Torrance to pick up back then a CRF. No, it wasn't even CRF. It was a XR 250 or something like that. And then I have to drive it all the way up to high torque offices. And then we'd have to drive all the way to someplace else because nobody wanted to do that crap. And then I'd have to drive down to Yamaha and pick up the XT225 Cero. And I'd drive out. But I knew if I went out and got banging photos on those things, eventually I would get to test the YZ125. It didn't just show up in my brother's truck and all of a sudden I'm riding the raddest bike out there. So where's your brother? Can I kick him in the nuts right now? Verbally?
He's playing video games, but go ahead.
Yeah. So you don't just get that bike. If that bike isn't washed and polished to a T before the next time it gets photoshot, he's getting banned. We're going to give it to some other poor disabled kid.
Actually, I had to yell at him today because we're dropping this one off, and then we're picking up a different one to buy, and he did a terrible job washing it. So,
yeah.
Right after I yelled at him, he asked for a free gear.
There's a new generation coming. I think they're calling them Generation A. I think stands for assholes. Yeah. It's right after they start right after COVID, so he's a little old for that. But anyways, I feel bad for the whatever the last generations is, because they're all confused. But yeah, keep whipping him into shape. And like, how did you get a better one than that YZ125? That thing was tight.
Because we actually ride our bikes, and I guess another magazine didn't ride their bike at all. So it's
okay,
brand new.
Right, because that bike was good. That thing ripped.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Okay. Are we working on the call, Matt?
I'm not getting any phone calls coming in.
He's scared to call in, but it doesn't call in, I'll ask for him. But he's
see you chickens. Hey, another thing. Beta X Trainer video impression. The J Thumper says, "Yep, I'm in my mid 40s, and I've noticed that I'm leaving my CR450X in the garage and taking out the old XR250 more often these days. I think this bike would be a perfect single track weapon for my out of shape ass." And I think he's right. If you're riding the XR250 because it's more fun, like nimble, easier to move around and stuff like that, that Beta will blow you away. And that's like, Beta doesn't want us to call it a beginner bike. You know, they don't want us to. They literally like, don't call it a beginner bike, don't call it a chick bike, because I think it's mostly because it gets these tags put on it by people that supposedly know better. But I know a lot of old dudes, like Mojave Bob is going to buy that X Trainer that's in there, cross trainer. I mean, so is he there, by the way? He didn't even show up?
No, as soon as he found out it was just me, I wasn't cool enough to carry the show for the peanut
carry
gallery.
His attention.
Yeah. No, it is just me tonight in the studio. It's very lonely. It's a little dark. I'm a little scared. You know, something might pop out.
Yeah, it's a dangerous place out
there.
Yeah. So Derek Homewood says, "I put a smart carb on his. Made a huge difference, even more power, and didn't leak fuel like it did with the stock carburetor." You know, that's something we should actually. I don't have an experience. I've used the Electron before, but I've never used the smart carb. They're kind of based on the same theory. That wouldn't be a bad thing to actually test. They say it's like fuel injection with the carburetor, and I would like to be the guy that tells you whether it is or it isn't.
Do you like the performance with the Electron carb?
No. Nope.
Okay. I've ridden one bike. Oh, too smooth.
Yeah. It really it just lost all of its hit, like more so than a fuel injected bike, because it was like, I want to say a fuel injected bike is very precise, where the Electron was like so lazy, it was really smooth. And I usually like really smooth, but I also, when I want response, and it was like that. So not my cup of tea. I don't want to say it was good or bad, but for me, it wasn't what I preferred. So I think the smart carb the same way. And that the cross trainer, I think, well, Matt can tell, I haven't ridden it since I adjusted the float level, but I think that would that'll help the fuel disappearing issue.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've just been doing a lot of the beginner stuff with it. I need to go take it out for a real ride.
Have you had to put gas in it?
Yeah, I had to put gas in it, but before I started doing all the beginner stuff, not since then though. Like, it's done 3 beginner classes, and I think it's at half of a tank.
Yeah, so it's doing better.
Yeah.
I think for the intended audience, the once you set the float level, I think ours was just misset and it just leaked all the time. It was anytime it would hit a bump, it would drip a little bit. If it leaned over a little bit, it would drip a little bit, which is an indication of the float being too high.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and the last time I rode I did take it out for just a quick little video shoot with Logan actually, and it was running fine.
Yeah, no, it never ran. It never had a problem with the way it ran. It just just fuel economy was kind of garbage. Hey, so your friend that's scared to call in, can we back bill them for the extra $2.30 it costs to fire up the?
Don't be a cheap ass.
Don't be a cheap ass. Huh?
He does work for us for free, so I don't know if we can bill him. But
Well, if he works for dirt bike test, we could also send him the Zoom link.
I don't think he wants to be. He's just too thing right now.
Got it.
But
Well,
Okay.
I think we should move on to maybe move. Actually, there's one more thing in the show notes. So I'll go ahead and I'll ask the question from the show notes,
Okay.
and then we can move on to Rooster Endo from there. So this is from the Tenere 700 vlog from 8XXRC. Thanks for sharing your settings. I'm surprised you're using even less preload on the rear. I weigh roughly 85 kilograms in full gear and had to go up to 20 clicks, counting from the softest setting, i.e. 0 preload, and achieved 30% sag. Maybe I misunderstood how you said it.
So here's how I set it. On adventure bikes, I don't really ever measure the sag. I don't do it like a competition bike. So the way I said it was I took off and I went riding and I said, damn, this is too, it was sacked out a little too much. So I just reached under there and just started cranking the knob and literally cranked it all the way stiff because that's what I did at the intro. And it was actually too stiff. It was a little bit too much preload. It made the bike dance around a little bit much. So I went back in there and started backing it off, and I just backed it off until it felt right. So I'm doing it more on feel than clicks and numbers of settings. So I want to say I'm 5 or 6 stiffer than where it was standard. And I don't know if I counted where it was standard, because it's just on almost every adventure bike I run them at max preload, max spring preload, and this one I haven't had to, which actually means it's pretty close. But I could see in 85 kilos, that's kind of where I'm at in weight. So it kind of depends on what you're trying to achieve by the preload setting. And for me, what I like to do is I like the bike to have a balanced feel. And I use that to kind of adjust the front to rear balance, as well as to get the bike to ride a little bit higher in the shock stroke, which just allows it to be softer and a little bit more supple. I don't use the spring preload to kind of correct for bottoming. I use the speed that I ride the motorcycle to dictate when the bike bottoms, because you're not going to make that go away with spring preload. So hopefully that helps you out. 8XXRC. It's an interesting name. So let's get into our favorite segment.
Roost or Endo.
Yeah, brought to you by tacomoto.co. This is where Trevor Hunter tells you whether your bike roosts or endos, and he decides whether you get a $100 gift certificate from Taco Moto to help your bike or hurt your bike, depending on how you spend that money.
Did my submission get in this week?
It is in. Yeah, your submission did get put in.
Oh, it did.
So if you have a submission, don't we have to have a disclaimer that you can't win if you're what do we call you, an employee?
An independent contractor,
slave.
We'll go and we'll start off with Trevor. We'll start off with Trevor, so this way Jimmy can see what Jimmy thinks of the photo.
Indentured servitude.
We know how picky he is with photos. All right. Whoa, it's really big on my screen here.
I've worked with some of the best photographers in the world. Okay.
All right. So this is from Trevor Hunter. It's the 2023 KX250. No modifications, which makes it perfect for Jimmy.
I like that. I like stock bikes. The light is pretty good. It's a little harsh. I would have kind of turned it to the side just a tad, but much better than most of the photos that we get, Trevor. I'll tell you that. Obviously, did you shoot it with a phone?
I did. Not this photo, but I did shoot it with the phone too.
Yeah. So you can't talk about this bike
I can say one thing.
Okay.
So
Good.
the Pro Circuit team was out there on their
Yep.
22s, and I still couldn't beat Joe Shimoda, even though I was on 23. So I don't know if the bike is all that good. But he had Pro Circuit stickers on his fork, so he must have had magic suspension or something.
Right.
Wait, I saw. Wasn't Jason Anderson out there also?
Yeah, he jumped on one for a little bit.
Could you beat him?
I was close, but I didn't want to embarrass him for Paula, so I kind of backed her down a little bit.
Really?
Oh, so
I would have
considerate.
pulled.
I got a clip of me in front of him.
I would have pulled I would have untucked my jersey, and then just got all like let my legs fly all over the place. I would have rode like Gordon Ward. I would have used all the techniques that Gordon Ward taught me, and I would have sent it after Jason Anderson.
I could only dream of doing that. Like him. I didn't grow my hair out a little bit first. Then maybe.
Right.
God, I would be scared of being on the track with Jason Anderson.
I don't know.
What happens
Tomorrow,
what would happen if he's on the inside of you in a turn?
So tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., you're going to let us know how you think about this bike.
I'll let you know if it roosts or if it endos.
Okay. So go to Dirt Bike Test. Actually, set your alarm clock. And the good thing is you can get up and you can turn your computer on, and you're not going to be during a flex alert out here in California where you're going to crash the whole grid because you wanted to read a bike impression on the internet.
And watch a video.
And watch a video. Oh, you got a video done too.
You got both.
Is it like a lot of GoPro footage of just GoPro?
No, we have like whole professional film guys out there.
Whoa,
Nice.
that's incredible.
We didn't pay for it, but someone else did. So.
Did the test rider do what I do and like kind of stick his butt out to the side a little bit when he went over the jumps?
A lot of that. That's all we did. That's all we did for the camera was butt whips.
Butt whips, yeah. If you look at that, okay, so if you look at that picture of me in that Yamaha Cero, that bike is actually pretty straight, but I butt whipped the hell out of that thing.
I didn't notice
I
that.
butt whipped so much I had to turn the handlebars. But
You had a good photographer to kind of pull it off.
right,
Yeah,
always
it
good
works.
work.
I can't do that.
Good photographer helps everything.
So
So
for-
yeah, you're
Kind of
getting
middle of the road until we see the video.
Yeah, middle of the road.
Okay. So Trevor, I know you can't talk about it, but how does it compare to the 250X that I rode at Glen Helen?
That 250X, you wrote it. Oh, another it roosts pretty good
The counter brought to you by who, Trevor?
by me.
By Dent Doc, 1-800-DENTDOC.com. Yeah, if you got a dent in your car, you can dial 1-800-DENT-DOC and you'll get in touch with Trevor's dad, and he'll tell you that maybe they can fix it or maybe they can't. I don't know.
I might learn to pull some dents. So if anyone wants to donate that,
Hey, I have a little dent in my mom car's door that could.
I got a
probably-
whole truck that you can practice on, Trevor. It's sitting
Is
in
that-
my driveway right now.
I've seen
Like
that.
if you need practice, Dimples. That's the name of my truck. Dimples needs a lot of love.
All right, I'll be right over.
I'm pretty sure. Why do I have this feeling that Dimples has the aerodynamics of a golf ball?
Because it does.
Yeah.
You may
That's
not
what-
want to fix those dents, Jimmy.
That's what Hale does for a truck like that, and it really helps out my pocketbook. So, hey, when you see me driving up in some bling bling truck like with those other magazine guys with their bling bling rims and special tires and all that stuff like that, then you guys can ask me for a raise.
So now,
Yeah, make your own money. Yeah,
We're working on it.
yeah.
All right. So this next submission is from Brian Niesley. This is a 2008 KX 250F. Only model is a Pro Circuit exhaust, so he could probably run with Joe Shimoda, unlike Trevor. Yeah, that's pretty much the only mod. This is his picture.
That bike 100% is roosting.
it's
Oh yeah.
a lot of roost.
A lot of roosting. It was funny because I saw this one on the internets, and I texted him back and said, that's definitely not a Paul Buckley photo. And it does look a little bit like Southwick, but it's not.
Looks like a rubber somewhere.
That's like the local sand pit. It looks like, I'm gonna go with like, man, that's like Jersey or Michigan. I don't know which, but I'm guessing. I'm going. I don't know. It's interesting because I'm looking at the bushes, which gives me a little bit more Jersey if they're down by some sand pit, like where they cranberries. They grow the cranberries down there, which has nothing to do with this motorcycle or this picture or anything. But I'm like, what happened that we post a picture of a Kawasaki, Matt, and all of a sudden all we get is Kawasaki
Yeah, we got
photos?
multiple Cowies. Yeah.
So these people are riding the wrong color bike. They need to be riding the blue one. Do you have something to tell them?
Well, I would tell them that if they wanted to make the switch from green to blue, they'd probably be better off. They'd probably have good luck with the YZ 4-stroke models because they're designed for motocross riders that are driven to dominate. They're built for victory. You can learn more going to YamahaMotorsports.com today to explore what's new and improved for 2023. The YZ450 and YZ250F bring the performance with powerful 4-stroke engine, reduced unsprung weight, and new suspension settings. Look for a full factory ride. Both the YZ450 and 250F come with the exclusive Monster Energy Yamaha Racing Edition graphics package. And you can take the precision tunability to the next level with the Yamaha exclusive and industry's only free Power Tuner app. Visit YamahaMotorsports.com today and find your Yamaha YZ and enter the victory zone.
Okay, don't fall asleep when you're reading that next time.
Well, it's because I realized I was like going way too fast, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta slow down, and I slowed down. I'm like, oh,
because I'm thinking that this guy right now, what's his name again?
This is Brian.
Brian right now is thinking, well, I can put monster graphics on, and then it's a little closer to being a pro circuit, but there's no way he's going to have the Power Tuner app. He can get the Power Tuner app. This is what's pretty cool. Like Yamaha doesn't want to discriminate, so they let anybody have the Power Tuner app, and you can point it at your bike all day long. I don't care whether it's a red one or a green one or a orange one. You can point it at it, and you can make maps and stuff. It just won't work. Not like the Yamaha. So Power Tuner app, one of the best things about the Yamaha YZ 4-stroke line.
It really wouldn't work for the 08 KX250F because that's carbureted, right?
Yeah, it would. It just doesn't work on green things.
Yeah.
But this guy's sending it. I like the fact that he's roosting. I would hope that he got his girlfriend to shoot the photo, not his mom, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
And yeah, send it. I like the fact that he's roosting. Since he's roosting, he's roosting.
Yeah. No, this is one of the better photos submitted. I mean, the lighting could be a little bit better, but I like the action shot.
Yeah, I don't know if I can see the pro circuit pipe, and if he is running a front disc guard, if he has it hidden in there, I can't see it either, and he didn't even have to go out of his way to hide it. So roost.
Right. Well, it is a moto bike, so I don't know if they'd be putting the billet aluminum front disc guard.
I would think it would actually be more effective for a moto bike because you never know what kind of carnage you can get into and like those pileups and stuff. Right. If you have to ram somebody,
you have a little bit more mass there if you're ramming it.
Well, yeah, and I would be a little careful about like the way I sent it into the guy if I didn't have a disc guard. But if I had a disc guard, like I knew that whole it's on the throttle's on this side, which means a brake. So I could go into the left. I could hit somebody in a right-hand turn with my left side of my bike and just demolish them with my disc guard.
So did Michael Lessie have a front disc guard when he rammed Brock Tickle? You think?
Most likely.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Classic one.
He just had a bad attitude. I can tell you some Michael Lessie stories.
I feel like that I'd actually be interested in hearing those.
Please share.
Oh, they involve booger flicking and punk little kids.
God.
Yeah, just somebody has to I'll just leave it there, and somebody has to remind me on another episode, and I'll bring it up.
Oh, it's going on the next show notes.
Okay.
Because all I know about the LSEs is from another show that goes on in this region.
Yeah. So I grew up racing with Tony Alessi, his dad, when he was the fastest 125 novice at Indian Dunes. Without there would be no discussion that Tony was the fastest 125 novice, because he also wrote for Cycle News. And so you wondered why they have really awesome pro races. Like, I mean, guys like Johnny O'Mara and Jimmy Hawley and all these like legends in my day were banging bars on Friday night motocross at the international track at Indian Dunes. And you get the Cycle News, and it was about the 125 race that Tony Alessi won. 125 novice race. Hey, but that's the power of the pen.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I like Tony. I get along with him great, and I've got along with Mike really well. But I do have some stories.
Nice.
Just like that.
Awesome.
Tony didn't like me because I weighed about 110 pounds, 120 pounds when I moved up to the 125.
Mm-hmm.
And I started ripping hole shots. He had his YZ 125 and I was on a KX 125, and I would rip hole shots and in the 125 novice class and win. And he didn't like me. And then of course, if you got second, he didn't write about that race. Then he wrote about like, Goat Brecker and Kenny Zart and those guys winning the 500 pro class. And I'm like, well, I won the 125 novice class. Thought that was the hot class at the Dunes on Friday night. But we don't talk about racing unless it involves me, so let's move on.
Selective. Yeah. All right, so this next submission is from Jake Bozarth. It's a 2008 KLX 140. It has had the oil changed exactly twice since 2008. This bike thrives on neglect, is modded with an FMF exhaust and baling wire. My kids say this bike is a big-time roost.
Dude, that's 4 dudes. Like, and Jay, it's Jake.
Jake, yeah. Well, it's Jake, and it looks like his kid's on the bike.
Yeah, Jake and his kids, and Jake's the big guy there.
Yeah.
Jake doesn't leave them a whole lot of room on the seat, and he's got 4 dudes on that bike. Of course, wear your helmets, kids, when you ride around. But we know this isn't running right now. This is staged photo, safety first. And what is it with 2008 Kawasaki's?
I don't know. Apparently, they're just popular.
This just shows
it's because it was the best year for the KLR.
This just shows you that the algorithm that determines our fate on the social medias and stuff just went all Kawasaki this week.
Mm-hmm.
So all you people with Kawasaki's that are now watching this show, you probably should go get a Yamaha, because Yamaha sponsors the show, as well as a seat concept seat. You want to get your bike modded at Taco Moto, get some Scott Sports goggles, some climb gear, DDC sprockets, of course. Trail Tech can set you up some gauges. Fasst Company Flex handlebars. Use the code Jimmy15 to save at checkout, because the sale ended yesterday, but I bet you the code might still work. And if it doesn't, email Trevor and have him fix it. And then bulletproof designs. So all those things. I like a family that all rides on the bike with dad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we used to do 3 dudes. I had my buddies called the Dillon brothers, and we used to do 3 dudes on a bike. We go to the a competition hill at night when everybody was, drag racing and stuff. And we'd pull up on an XR 600 with 3 dudes on it and smoke everybody. I have video. Remember those videos you want to see?
Yeah. No, I hope you're bringing those back to Pahrump. Which, Trevor, did you hear about this?
I did not.
No, apparently Jimmy inspired the Krusty Demon guys. And he has the videos of this.
I have videos before Krusty Demons, but they wanted my videos.
Were you doing like backflips or something? Or
no, there wasn't backflip, had not been considered yet. Just crazy shit on motorcycles.
Not even crazy anymore.
It's not even crazy anymore. Yeah, Heather just said it's not even crazy.
Yeah, I saw a video of the first ever freestyle competition in California, and it was by today's standards, it was just a goon ride.
It was in Vegas. The first ever freestyle competition was in Vegas. I was there.
Oh, really?
Yep. So was Travis Pastrana.
I was there too.
Yeah. I had a camera. It shot film. I have photos of it someplace.
Wow.
Yep.
But anyway, back to this 2008 KLX 140. I think it's roosting because this bike is getting passed down from his oldest kid down to his youngest.
Every one of those kids is going to have a blast on that bike. That's awesome that the kids get to go out and ride dirt bikes and stuff. Yeah, super cool. Looks and man, you can't replace those smiles. So that's 100% roost.
Yeah, the kid smiles is why I like teaching beginner riders. So
yeah, go to jimmylewisoffroad.com and click on the online courses there. And hey, we got a newsletter coming out this week. We're going to announce our classes. So we've been dying to know when our classes are.
Oh, and my classes too.
Yeah, your classes are going to get announced too.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. All right, so this thing roosts, right?
Yes.
All right. Sorry, Trevor. Was it a roost for you as well, Trevor?
Big roost.
Okay. All right.
Evidently, Kawasaki's roosts.
They're trying to pay us or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, so this is going to be the last one of the night. So this is Jim Garbus. So this is a 20.
Yeah, he's the one that told me what the X dimension was.
Yeah. And he's breaking the Kawasaki trend here. So this is a 2018 Husqvarna TE250. On it is a JD jetting kit, Enduro Engineering handguards, Enduro Engineering rear rotor guard, an Enduro Engineering seat, as well as rear brake pedal tip, an OB linkage guard, Bulletproof Designs radiator guards, we like those, Trail Tech temp gauge, DDC rear sprocket, Fasst Company RR brake pedal return spring, Astra off-road Chris Birch bend bars, IRC VE33S rear tire.
That's the Vulcan Enduro for those that don't know.
Bridgestone X30 front, 3mm HD tubes, and no front rotor guard.
Hey, that's a very well set up machine.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. I mean, there's some stuff that's it's a little different than what I run, but he's running a lot of the good stuff that I know of. But I can tell a man that knows how to set up a bike to his needs, and he knows what. I just wonder if his X distance is correct. Hey, someone else, Mark Daniels, also told us to check the base gasket thickness with a calipers, which is exactly how I do it, by the way, which is great advice because I probably completely left that out because I wasn't measuring it with my construction tape measure that has like, a 1/16 and an 1/8 written on the side because I don't know which is which. I don't know what 5/16 is and all that. So I have to have the dummy one.
As long as you're not breaking out like the ruler from elementary school, I think you're fine.
I have that still.
Oh, nice.
This bike, Ruth.
Yeah.
What year is it?
2018.
So no carburetor. No carburetor. Full carburetor.
It has a JD carb tuning thing on it.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, it has a JD. So it's fuel injected then.
No, it's the JD jet kit.
Oh, he has the JD jet kit. It's almost like fuel injection. Yeah, it's like it. Yeah. So, can I listen to that music too, Heather, on the podcast?
Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, so we're gonna. This one roosts, right?
I'm trying to turn it off.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Yeah, Bruce.
A rooster.
That
I mean,
really nice
board here.
that music there was
All right.
super relaxing.
Sorry, it's a key.
Yeah. No, it's okay.
So,
We're trying to do a podcast in your house.
It's okay. You're in my house.
So who do we have winning this week?
I deflect to Trevor.
Ooh, pressure's on.
Yeah.
They win.
Wins. Counter brought to you by
winner.
Trevor Hunter, 1-800-DENTDoc.com.
Does the winner gets a Taco Moto gift card?
$100
Right?
Taco Moto gift certificate.
Does it matter if they don't have a bike to buy stuff for?
You can pick whoever you want.
Wait, you can't pick yourself.
No. Look at myself, but a lot of Kawasaki's in there. I don't know if Takamoto makes Kawasaki parts.
Well, they have tools and stuff like.
Yeah, they have tools, all kinds of
Okay.
stuff, lots of things.
If you like riding dirt bikes, Takamoto has something for you. It doesn't just need to be KTM EXE stuff.
There you go. That's your ad right there for Takamoto. If you
There we go.
Takamoto has it. Let's go with the Family Guy with the KLX.
Okay.
I like that too. I
can get behind that pick.
I haven't seen 4 smiles like that in a long time. And usually when we see, actually, we don't actually see the picture. You don't see their faces in the picture, but I know when I talk about their bike, there's a lot of frowns. So it's nice to see some smiles on this segment. It's really refreshing. And the Takamoto will have something. They have graphics kits and different things. And I'll bet you there's more dirt bikes in that family. I bet you I would be willing to bet that there is some bike that would really have a, you can get hand guards for that thing. And when those kids start dropping it on the ground, get some nice wraparound hand guards for that thing from takamoto.co.
There you go.
And then you save the money on levers, and that $100 gift certificate turns into a $500 gift certificate by the time you're done.
Like,
all trying to save you money here.
Right.
Trying to save you money and make you a smarter motorcycle person.
More informed consumer.
That's correct.
That's what we're all about.
Okay.
Cool. So I just need to say it for the RSS feed. So that was Jake Bozarth. Yeah, go ahead and email me at matt@jimmylewisoffroad.com and we'll get you set up. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats. Thanks for sending that in. That was last minute. Hey, we do need some more submissions for Rooster Endo. So if you want to have your bike considered, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. See, you can win with a KLX 140. We don't discriminate here.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't take a picture of it in the back of your truck after when you don't take a picture of your buddy's bike in the back of the truck and claim it's yours and submit it to Rooster Endo like that other guy did.
Or just pull a picture off of Craigslist and
Yeah.
and then copy the parts list from that and say, "Oh yeah, this is my bike."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or use it to sell your bikes like Ricky Brabeck does.
Right.
I don't think Ricky Brabeck has any bikes to sell right now. That's why we haven't been getting Rooster Endo submissions from him.
Dude, I've got bikes to sell. Now I know what to do.
Yeah, put them to Rooster Endo. Just make a fake name like Hunter Trevor. And
I need to resubmit my 300.
Figure it out. Yeah. Oh, did it endo?
No, because I ended my submission with I have the power to shut this show off at any moment, and you said we can't rate this bike, and it ended up on the back of the original Rooster Endo board.
Oh,
I think
unrated. Yeah.
I think it's still there. Oh no, the picture must have fallen off. So
somebody needs to tune up that studio. We need to find some more indentured servants to come in and fix the show.
There we go. We do. Well, Matt, we do have Maddox, and he's good. He's just got strep throat this week.
Right. At least I'm not there. What do we have next? Trevor, you want to drop this bomb of a question?
If you're ready for it, I don't know if you can handle it yet, but I'll drop it.
Okay.
All right. This is from Logan Stupin. He's
Logan Stupin,
our new slave filmer.
Right.
DBT.
I like the guy already.
Proud owner of an 05 YZ125. I know that has a soft spot in your heart already.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's an SRA night team race coming up, and he's looking to race an XR100 with the Jimmy Lewis. He wants to team up on your XR.
The Baja one.
On the Baja one.
That one's it's really hard to get off the wall. We mounted it on a wall.
Can it be brought down?
No
I think he'll promise 3 videos.
Heather just yelled, "No, it can't come down," because she saw how I got it up there. It was pretty sketchy. And I know that the brakes don't work on it, but on an XR100, you don't need brakes, especially at Glen Helen going down the downhills. No need for brakes at all, because you just
use your the riders as brakes.
I might need to get a disc protector for it so I can use them as.
What's the question? He wants to race.
He wants to race with me at an SRA Night Grand Prix.
Yeah.
When is that?
September 24th, I think.
Huh.
That weekend. 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, you're not going to be around.
My secretary says I'm not going to be around.
Heather can join the team too if she wants.
Heather can race too. She said Heather can race.
I can't race.
She just got a brand new knee.
Oh yeah,
she got upgraded. She's got a new knee. If I was around, I'd totally consider it. I would do something stupid like that. Hey, I probably have. If somebody keeps records, I don't know. Has anybody gone on like a real winning streak on the team race at Glen Helen at the SRA Grand Prix?
They stopped doing them, so no.
Oh, then I own that. Me and Dave Donatoni, like for how many years? Like Heather, like 4 years. We went undefeated for like 2.5 years.
Yeah.
It was crazy, and we were knocking off like real factory guys. It was crazy, but yeah, I'd team up with them in a second.
Will Dave come out of retirement?
That's a pretty good. There, I don't know. What do you think, Dave?
I'll go mountain biking with him afterwards.
See, you're pulling that mountain biking thing out again. So, yeah. Well, tell him I would like to do it. Too bad he was a chicken to call in, but
all right, it was worth a shot.
It was a good shot. I think I'm going to be at the KTM Adventure Rider Rally that weekend. Is what I guess. I got it. I'm going up there to teach people how to ride motorcycles better. So, what else do we have, Matt? Anything else? Is that we got everything dialed in?
Yeah, I think everything's dialed in. A lot of our announcements will be coming out in that newsletter for the online stuff. As far as dirt bike tests, just we're gonna keep plugging away. A lot of the things that are going on is kind of like behind the scenes stuff.
Okay, so you can subscribe to the newsletter at www.jimmylewisoffroad.com for our riding school stuff. If you're interested in what Dirt Bike Test is doing, every once in a while Trevor sends out a newsletter as well. You can sign up for that. Actually, all you have to do is look at Dirt Bike Test for just long enough, and you'll get a pop-up.
If you click on a story, it'll pop up. Not the but the story, it'll pop up.
So if you click on the story, you can get on Dirt Bike Test's newsletter. We're doing more and more stuff. The kids here are kind of kicking it up with the content. I'm going to keep doing my Tenere vlog. I gotta get my I gotta do my comparison between that and the
KLR.
The KLR 650. But the problem is I got kind of distracted, and we ended up comparing it to a KTM 390. And you're just gonna have to wait for the video to figure out why.
Right.
So,
cool.
Trevor, what's our we got a Yamaha test coming up pretty soon too, sometime soon.
Yeah, we're just working on trying to improve the 450 FX. So slowly making gains. It's already a pretty good bike, but we're slowly making gains and changes and getting it ready for 24-hour. And then
who's on your team besides Eli Tomac?
Eli Tomac, I think Justin Cooper, maybe Jimmy Lewis if he's in town.
Maybe you can get Hayden Deegan.
Ooh, Hayden Deegan.
You need to go for these bangers on the Instagrams and stuff like that. Hey, remember when Pro Circuit got like Davey Millsaps and Andrew Short and those guys to race their bike at the 24-hour?
Yeah, I've been dreaming of getting Villapoto on the team since he's a Yamaha guy, but I don't know how to ask that.
Well, just tell him there's a lot of Coors Lights.
Yeah, end of the race.
Your dad, no, that guy, that race is 24 hours. Have your dad talk to him. They probably speak the same language.
They probably do. Actually, I know they do.
Yeah. So so really, who's on the team?
You don't know. We have me, Tyler Belknap, and Thomas Dunn from last year, and then we're working on a fourth guy.
Right.
Someone to carry me and Tyler around.
No, I think Tomac's probably a good choice.
Think the bike would last.
Hey, didn't we talk about riding bikes with lights in that Rooster Endo segment?
Yeah, we talked about him trail riding and stuff, and he said he doesn't really trail ride very often, but he did it when he was preparing for some super rough motocross tracks, and he said he really would like he liked trail riding. I thought he alluded to enjoying like wanting to go for trail rides after he retired.
No,
I think trail riding at 24-hour.
Actually, maybe he should go trail ride for the 24-hour because then he'll want to race longer.
Yes.
Because they're like, this trail riding stuff sucks.
Getting stuck on uphills at 3 a.m. at Glen Helen.
Yeah, it's all good time. So, okay, everybody. Hey, thanks a lot for joining in. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing. Actually, the archive episodes, the counts are going up. So it's cool if you're listening to this in your shop. Thank you for doing that. Tell everybody where you heard about us and share and do all that stuff. That keeps us in business like at least 1 week longer, right?
At least another week.
I may be back in Pahrump next week, so you might get to sit next to somebody, and I'll have the cat on the show now that I know that you're super allergic to Selma.
Right. Well, I remember the last time Selma came in here during a show, you and other Jimmy thought I was stoned.
We were right. Okay, hey Trevor, thanks for joining in. Matt, thanks for putting the show together, and we will see everybody out on the trail. So cheers.